All right, it's 8 or 9 minutes after 8. You're still here on the AM show. Time now for my banner. And I've been passionate about this since the news broke yesterday about some persons either in Turkey or wherever hacking into government websites. Yesterday, you couldn't access the website, or you'd realize that other things were passing through. But thankfully, this morning, the websites, at least the three that we heard of, that of the Communications Ministry, the Navy, and that of the Government of Ghana app, at least we tested it and it's up and working. But how can we protect it? I mean, if the government couldn't and somebody was able to hack into their system, can you imagine like you and I, ordinary persons and businesses out there? So how can we protect our email accounts as well, and then our websites? So I've got experts, professionals joining me this morning with an expert view on this particular issue. May I please introduce to you my guests, Mr. Albert Ntwibu-Esiako is founder and principal consultant with E-Crime Bureau. Good morning, Albert. Thank you for your time.
Good morning.
Also, Edward Yeboah is a web application development lecturer at the Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT. That was stressed. I have to add ICT to it. Thank you for your time also this morning.
Thank you.
So let me ask what you thought of when you heard that our official website in terms of Ghana had been hacked into, somebody else was controlling it.
All right, okay. Thank you so much, and good morning to the viewers. As a matter of fact, when I heard the news from professional perspective, I wasn't surprised at all. Because we, as an entity organization specialized in cybersecurity, we had done initial assessment relative to the threat landscape on our website, and we found that most of the websites that are hosting business information don't quite meet standards.
Okay.
In terms of, I think certainly Ed will comment on that, the technology which has been used, and not only that, the fact that Ghanaians generally, we don't have the cybersecurity culture. What do I mean by that? Websites are developed, they are just left there to take care of itself, protection. It doesn't happen. Technology world is a very dynamic world. If an application, a website is developed today, it could be, after just 1 week, 1 month, there could be what? Vulnerabilities. I also want to add this fact. In the world of technology, hacking, I would say, is an existential threat. I just want to clarify this so that people will, even though, yes, it's quite embarrassing for the government system to be hacked, but every existing electronic platform is vulnerable to such attacks. That's what I mean. But
that also means that you can never protect it 100%.
Look, there is no security in this world 100%. There's no 100% security. Whether it's cyber or physical, security is always a work in progress.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that is where we are missing as Ghanaians. Most people assume that, yes, security there can't be that sort of guarantee. This is not a defense of what has happened, which is a national embarrassment, I must admit. But citizens also need to understand that these things are expected. Okay. It happens even in advanced economies.
Edward, because one of the U.S. Army facilities website was hacked, and Ghana's official website has been hacked into, is that like a justification for us to say, well, I mean, even if there's superpowers, somebody was able to break into one of their systems, then ours, there's no news?
Well, I wouldn't say that. What I can say is, yes, no system is purely secure, but there are some basic vulnerabilities that you shouldn't allow your system to be attacked with. At this moment, I cannot say anything about the government website because I don't really know the technology they are using.
Okay.
But the first thing,
just by seeing it, can you tell?
No,
okay.
There's no way. Yeah. So we need to find out. The first thing we normally do is find out where the attack is coming from and how did they attack your system. That will help you find a solution to whatever problem you have. Yeah, there are, as Albert was saying, really, there's no system that you can say, so far as it's electronic, there's always a way to break into it. But yes, there are so many ways of avoiding that. So we don't know what happened if the government webmasters did all those, because remember that most of the times the attacks are done in the evening when most of the people are sleeping. That's when they do.
Oh, really?
Most of that. If you check, most countries, the attacks are done after 12 midnight, where most webmasters and others are resting. So maybe we need to double up.
Is the webmaster a human being?
Yeah.
Okay.
There can be a tool to do that. But the tool only detects. We have something we call web application firewalls, which are meant to check the incoming traffic and check for some of these vulnerabilities, which will help you block. Because if the attack is coming from maybe a particular computer and you know the IP, you could block the IP. What about if you block it now, in the even another set of IPs coming, how do you block them?
Okay.
So it's something that is really an international threat that we all need to fight. But I would say that the basic vulnerabilities must be looked at. Many people, they just put the website there. They don't even take into consideration where they are going to host the website. That's very important. Hosting is where you put the files, that you go to the site, what you see there is hosted somewhere. There are so many applications there that can help you avoid some of these attacks. But because we are always looking for the cheapest hosting, we don't buy those.
If you want the professional one, how much would it cost?
Well, it depends on what you're using the website for.
Okay.
Yeah, because if it's e-commerce, even they are dedicated website web hosting servers for e-commerce website. But you can put it on any ordinary server.
Can you give us a range?
Good. If it's a normal website, like a ministry website, you shouldn't look for something less than 10,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Yes. I'm adding the hosting aspect. Yeah, you can get hosting for maybe 100 cedis a year. But you know, that is not the best, because there are so many add-ons and plugins that have not been added. If you want a good hosting, I would suggest you go for either a dedicated. For a ministry, I'll go for a dedicated.
Okay.
Or maybe virtual dedicated hosting. Because most of the people are using shared hosting. Means that on one server, multiple websites are hosted there. If they manage to attack just one website, it's possible it can trickle down on all the others. So you want to have your own server that you have control over.
Yeah.
Where when there's any problem, you can easily check, and even with this weblogs, you can check and be looking at what are the problems, then you can put a stop to it.
I know that Albert wants to add something to what you said.
I really want to. So I've been working also with the ministry some time.
Okay. So did you help build some of these sites?
No, not really.
Okay.
We don't. But we are more into security and investigations. When this gentleman has built, we go into audit, assess
to see how secured.
Absolutely, that is our job. And when incident also happens, we respond.
Okay.
So there are two.
You provided such services to some of the ministries, or all of the ministries?
We collaborate with the ministries in terms of that, because Ministry of Communication, let's say, is the body in charge of cybersecurity.
So you're familiar with their websites?
Not really the website, but I want to chip in something in terms of, buying, hosting, and those things. We are a state, a government for that matter. The last thing I would recommend is we should purchase, hosting providers, from outside. There are security implications here. We shouldn't look at that side. If it's a corporate, an individual aspect, that is excellent. NITA, the government, is building an infrastructure that seeks to manage. It appears that currently, perhaps, there hasn't been, much in terms of security of that system. So it's more of, as a state, we developing this technology in-house. And I think Ed teaches the students. Some of them are brilliant. I've got young, brilliant, talented guys in my team, which can build such infrastructure in a more secured manner to host government infrastructures. I wouldn't advocate for a Ministry of Communication or government department going to buy hosting services from another country, which I won't mention. It is not a best practice. We need to develop the technology in-house by harnessing the skills that our young graduates have them. And second, integrating security. This is the major thing, and I'm going to hammer on this with Ed. When you go back and you are teaching, my own assessment, yes, every guy that you bring there, they know much about web technologies, apps. The moment you audit from security perspective, there's a minus. Absolutely. And it reflects even in the courses which are being run by these institutions. Cybersecurity courses, minimal. Cybersecurity awareness, very minimal. So yes, we have the talent here. But it looks like that sort of training should be multidimensional. That aspect is missing. I'll say this 100%. I am speaking
do you
as a
teach
practitioner.
that?
Yeah, I'm happy he has brought this topic. At Kofi Annan, we have ethical hacking as one of our major courses. We have web application, for instance. We advise them on the best practice they should. And we have diploma in information security.
But is it attached? So, for instance, if you're not necessarily doing the security aspects, do you have a general teaching on it for every student?
Yes. The issue is security is very broad. You cannot dedicate 3 months of web technology to teach them security stuff. So we introduce them to these courses. We even have online courses for such programs, like those who cannot even come there, because the security is not only for the developer, even the user.
But I've just been told, sorry to just cut in like this, but I've got is it a guru who's giving me some ideas? He's suggesting, Kofi suggesting that if you develop, you should try and hack in yourself.
Yes, that's
to
the
see the
ethical
loopholes.
hacking. You see, the biggest problem is many developers, they prefer taking a code online without knowing what is in the code. They just edit and put it there. That's the biggest threat. So when you are looking for somebody to build a website for you, you should understand where that person is coming from. There are lots
Understand where the person is coming, like how?
Yeah.
Because usually they'll come and show you this website, I did it, and I can do one for you.
Good. There are a lot of templates online. There are a lot of content management systems online that you can use to build websites in just a matter of 3 days. But are they doing the right thing? You see, it's not just the look and feel, the beauty of the site. It's what is in the code.
So what kind of questions do you ask, and what proof do they show you?
Yes. Many people, imagine somebody comes to me and tells me that I want internet. It means that that person doesn't even know what he wants. So you just go, get you anything, and you're happy. But if you are looking for somebody to build a website for you, please go to the established institutions who know what, like Kofi Annan Center, like Mr. Albert's company, like other companies that can help you understand what you should expect from the developer. I'm not saying come and do it at Kofi Annan Center, but what you should expect from the developer. That the developer even understand these vulnerabilities we are talking about. Does the developer even understand what he should expect when he's going to buy a hosting?
Usually they would advertise and say I can build a website for you for 200 Ghana cedis. Is that how much it costs?
That's where the problem is.
Is that how much it costs?
No.
Oh,
there's no way a website should cost less than 2,000 or 3,000 Ghana cedis.
Real?
I'm telling you, because if you want 200, 500, he would download a code and just change a content and put it there. Because less work, he gets his money. But if you want a professional work done, then you should be ready to pay. Because let me tell you, some people that on my website, I'm not worried about threats because maybe just a blog people are going to just come and read. But there is the possibility that they can block your site. Because website, maybe that is not the website they are interested in. They can use that to attack other websites. When that happens, the search engines will block you, they will blacklist you. then your business die. So don't always go for the cheapest, please.
Okay. I want to ask Albert, if somebody builds a website for me, can I call on you to look at it? And at what stage in the process do you come in?
Ideally, that is excellent wisdom. I would even prefer that if it's a large-scale project of building a website, whoever you are giving a contract to should be able to provide the requirement and deliverables, including the technology which is involved, versions, everything. We will review that document. That's the stage one. We'll review that document before it's even built. After the system is built, we will go and then audit and review whether they meet at least that, I mean, as you said, the basic security requirement for the website to go live. And just not there, at least every 6 months, we have to go in and perform what we call vulnerability assessment. This is the model. This is the rational way by which, a proactive way where you can protect your infrastructure right from before the network, the website is set up, before it goes live. And even because I said security is work in progress. It's not just static. This is the process. So it's just a matter. We can start doing a survey. Ask businesses how many organizations, including ministries, businesses, have gone through this process cycle of security. So when I said we are expecting more of these attacks, I'm predicting a lot of these attacks going on in the coming months, the coming years.
Here in Ghana?
Absolutely. We should be expecting more until, we've really changed the dynamics how we do things here. It is, expected. When it happens, don't be surprised.
I'm going to ask you where the hackers are, but Kofi gave me some information that I want to share. Kofi's my colleague. He's my IT specialist.
Wow.
The owner of Facebook got his first employees by organizing a hacking contest. He built a site and asked the top 3 computer scientists to hack into it. The one who could hack it in the shortest time was employed. So it's not such a bad thing after all. But where are the hackers?
They're everywhere. Even you can be a hacker. Sometimes
I got one person. There's somebody in the newsroom that Albert brought who has hacked into, and I'm going to share the information with you because he sent me an email through. So the email has come through, and it sounds like it's from my producer, Francisca Abla de Souza. I am seeing it right here. It's amazing. I'll share it with you.
You see, anybody can be a hacker. Sometimes you are using somebody's website, you do something, some pop-up come, you don't read, you just accept, and it's a way of sending information to somebody you don't even know. So everybody can be. You don't need to be a computer guru. There are a lot of tools online that you can use to even hack.
Can you hack into somebody's Facebook accounts?
Why not? You can, because remember that we have something we call cookies and sessions. Cookies are resident on your computer and sessions are resident on your memory. So if I manage to hack into your computer and your cookies are available, I should be able to access it. And even if it is in the memory, people hack into others' memory, so it's possible.
So Albert, the point is, if I am privately getting an email address, I would not need you, would I?
Because
what do you mean by private email address? If I have my mamami.abuaje@gmail.com, that is something that I can set anywhere and create for myself. I'm not thinking about all the security things that you're saying. Get a professional to come and take a look at it and see the loopholes and that kind of thing. So how can I secure my own little private email?
Well, Mama, with security, I think we're talking of 2 things. The website is one, and then the email.
Yes.
Okay, let's clarify that. You got the email from Philemon, wasn't it?
Yes.
What was that?
Your assistant is Philemon, right?
Philemon Heaney.
Okay.
Great work. I don't understand why.
So Fred is going to help all of us see what Philemon sent me. That sounded like it was Francisca Abla de Souza who sent it to me. I'm going to show it to you right now. So it's an email that says, Hello, Mama V. Can you come over for a meeting after your program? Thank you. But there's a warning though. It says this message may not have been sent by Francisca Abla at gmail.com.
Great. That is a good thing, especially the highlight, the security message. This is a basic, because we got here and, you know, in order to make this more practical.
In less than 10 minutes, he sent me. So what did he do? Did he get into Abla's email?
No.
No.
There are different ways by which these things are done. As we are sitting here, people don't need to really break into your inbox. We have applications that can be used actually to commit some of these things. And that was what done. I don't think it's necessary to go detailed of that. It's more of knowing how this works. And then making sure that when an email comes, you have to be conscious as to how to treat it, especially if you are being requested to transfer funds, give confidential information, meet somebody. The wisdom here is you have to confirm at least before you go. But it's important what has been underlined. Yes, because it's Gmail, there is a security measure here. So the email has been flagged that even though it couldn't detect, it couldn't stay.
It couldn't stop it from coming in.
There are levels. We could have done it in such a way that that kind of information, the alert wouldn't have come in.
Okay, but I tell you what.
Correct.
This is so convincing because she's my colleague. I work with her.
Absolutely.
And the message says, let's meet after the program. So I would not have considered the warning.
You are not alone. Most people wouldn't have considered it.
It's true.
And I'm saying if we were just to do this in a lab, well planned, that alert wouldn't have actually was shown. So these are some of the risks. And when you check the email, it's still from Francisca.
Yeah.
That is the real danger. And as we use technology, these are some of the things that we need to be aware of. So protecting your email, yes, it's good. You use a credible email service provider if it's private. But then that is not all. The device itself that you are holding, how secure it is.
As in the pad I'm holding.
So there are different angles that we look at security. The one providing you with the email service is one. You, the owner of the device, the communication channels, the wireless, the network that you are using. So the security is comprehensive, if I should put it that way. That has to be looked at, from all those angles to be able to ensure that yes, your systems are relatively, secured.
Okay, so Edward, how is Philemon able to get hold of? Because we receive a lot. I receive a lot of emails. Somebody introducing a certain business.
It's true.
And telling me you can end this after that, and respond to me. Somebody just saying, "Hello, I saw your profile and I like you and I want you to send me a message or something." Where are they getting my email address from?
You see, we keep on going online, registering on different platforms, and nobody really reads the terms and conditions.
Yeah, we just say okay, because it's a lot.
You accept before you.
You accept it. You don't even know what goes into it. Most of the times, they'll give you free email. How do they get their money? They need to find ways and means. So sometimes they sell your information. Others want it to sell product. So they will sell them. That is one. Sometimes the most dangerous danger is those within. Because, yes, you've given your complimentary card to somebody, and the person takes another person's complimentary card. They see that there is a pattern, the way you create your email. Edward.Yeboah. Albert.that.
God.
So they know this is the pattern. So they will try, because they always need to find ways and means to get to you. And they don't need to hack into your email. Or building a web application, I can send a mail from my web application to you. And it will look like it's coming from that person, really. What you need to always do is to look at the header. And not just the message. Nobody reads the header where the information is coming from. As he said, we can always fine-tune it to make it mimic exactly what we'll give you when it's coming from Gmail. Because the mail service will want to authenticate where the information is coming from. That's why they gave that warning. Is it coming from a valid email, or is coming from maybe a third-party software which is doing that?
Okay, so I'm thinking that maybe because mine is Gmail and hers is Gmail, it was easier.
Not that. The means of sending the mail. Did the person send the mail through Gmail or through a third-party application?
Okay.
That's why Gmail is warning you. But you can get your corporate email, and maybe those filtering and things are not done there. It will pass through easily. So you don't just buy service. You buy service and make sure they are well configured. That's why I would recommend that either you go to the experts or you bring your team to Kofi Annan, where we have the right people to train you.
Yes, I see where you're going. But I don't know, it just occurred to me because we're talking Gmail that my Yahoo account gets a lot more of some of these things, you know, like can we be friends, a lot more. Why?
Well, as I was telling you, if the mail is coming from a valid mail sender, it will go. So far as they have access to your email, they can send you those spams and that. Because sometimes even coming from Yahoo themselves, it could be coming from they themselves to you, because somebody comes, imagine a very big company comes and they need to sell some products and they ask you, can you help us send this information to, even, let me move away from email to bulk SMS. Why do you think you get a lot of junk messages? Because they are also selling this information. It follows the same way.
It's good that you brought that in, Albert. What can we do? Because sometimes the network providers will continuously send you messages about, is it products or sign on to this music and that kind of thing, and it can be very frustrating.
Well,
I didn't sign for that.
There's a legal breach aspect of that which I would like to go in, because when you sign up a service, before you receive those things from the provider, because some of them come genuinely from those who are giving you the service. If you haven't signed up and they send this thing to you, that's a breach of, you know, sort of agreement, service level agreement. It happens a lot in Ghana because nobody takes the service providers on. It's an issue. But there's another aspect where criminal networks, third parties also send those information, and if they get into your emails, then there's a problem. We've done a lot of analysis. I don't want to say, I wish after here we will use your organization website as an example in presence of your CEO. So, yes,
to show
actually,
what
I wouldn't like to do it on air. But I will say, yeah, there's a vulnerability. Before we leave here, I would like to demonstrate to you before I leave.
Okay.
These are the issues. And as long as those things are not resolved, as I say, they just deploy the service. You need a cyber security expert to review those systems, put the corrective measures, because it has to be that way. I mean, the guy who is developing is fine. He needs that basic understanding of security. But it has to be somebody who is well equipped in that area to come in to detect what is wrong and what is right. How many organizations here, the IT department, everything of this nature is seen as IT. It is a wrong thinking. Whoever developed, I mean, there's a concept of who monitors the monitor. If you can answer this question intelligently, then that means you are doing the right thing. If you are developing, you are putting the measures in place. You are not the same person. You need an auditor, external person to come and sustain that.
How many of you know the bureaus do we have in Ghana?
Well, it's not really. We are the first organization specialized in this area. However, there are other expertise that we work with around. That means some of them are working individually or in small groups. So they are. And we are continuing developing them. We are, developing trainings. I think your unit has also started building courses in that area. Yeah, there is a skills gap, I must admit, but we have started building that sort of capability to be able to address some of these problems. Most of the web platforms, the email services running, corporate emails, are quite vulnerable to some of these attacks. And a lot of fraud is going on around this area. It takes little money. It doesn't cost so much to put some of these measures in place to address the problem. Sometimes, when the crime occurs, I'm talking of cybercrime here. 5 years, 10 years ago, it was more 419 more of the Sakawa emails, the romance fraud. But in our unit, we've identified an emerging trend of sophisticated cyber attacks, development of malware tools, including those we are targeting smartphones, iPads, and that is the danger. So there is an evolution of the crime landscape in the country, and we need to complement that with equipping the young IT talent that we have in the country to match that. Next month, for example, on the 18th, we are doing a program on smartphone security for corporate executives, because we have identified issues targeting board of directors, MDs. And the one example is in-house. If there is a wireless within my job line or multi-TV, and you are using that on your iPad, there is a technique that somebody who has access to that network could intercept your private communication. And data is being leaked outside there. And then blackmailing. There's a whole lot of things which are going on.
True.
Because we don't really look at those things. As I'm saying, I foresee a lot happening in terms of cybersecurity breaches. Not just this hacking. A lot happens even though, but this came up, the media picked it up because it's government.
Because it was government.
The government
exactly.
is always government.
Because it happened to the University of Cape Coast. I mean, we're talking about it, not the scale that we are talking about, the government. Because if it's the government of Ghana, then that is such a big deal.
That's true.
But I want to ask, what's the motivation for these hackers? Is it just young people who probably don't have any work to do? They are stuck with computers, and so they have to do something?
Yeah, that could be one way. Others could be because you did something that they want to tell you that be careful, it could happen. But mostly they do it for money purpose.
But if somebody is in Turkey and is targeting Ghana,
well,
I don't see the connection.
I wouldn't know. The first thing we need to understand is what exactly did they do on the server. That will help us understand why they did the attack. So
what do you know? Are we sharing?
I wouldn't know.
Let me show you the websites. This is the ghana.gov.gh website. Okay, so this is the site that you couldn't have access to yesterday. Can you? But you can't tell from just looking at it.
No,
can you?
It's you see, one thing I wanted to say is, there are free online platforms that can allow you check some of your some basic vulnerabilities, not all. We have one called Scan My Server. Scan My Server will allow you to, they will give you a code. I want to be sure that the website belongs to you. You put the code on your website, and as time goes on, you can check how vulnerable your website is. But that is not optimal. You need to get a paid for.
Yes, I'll like to comment on that.
Yeah, you have to get it paid for. And sometimes when you get some of these free online, they are rather hackers who want to use that to attack you.
Good.
I've used this Scan My Web because after the reviews, I went through the reviews too, and I got good reports on them. But some will give you for free, and at the end, they are using that to hack you. Yeah, you see, at our end, when we are teaching you how to build an application coming from website or software, there are stages that you go through. We have what we call SRS, Software Requirement Specification, and that is the agreement that you reach with the client, how you want this to be done, which must be signed off after they move on. And even after you have finished building the application, we have testing and all that. But most of the times, we allow, because people are not ready to pay good money for good work done, they allow the one building the software to do all this, which is wrong. I want to build a website for you, or web application, or any application for you. Not the same person building the application should be testing.
That's wrong.
And not even the requirement and all. You should allow external, third party to do that, so that they can check and be sure that whatever you requested is delivered.
Okay.
And after that, do system auditing, making sure that the code they submitted.
I don't want you to also even move further. Before we forget about this, even a third-party testing, there is a trend here. It shouldn't be one person for 5 years. It is the wrong way of doing things. If you engage this to test your system, he picks out certain information for you. In my way, it's better you engage another person the next time just to compare, if even the third party is doing a good job.
So you're testing the tester?
Absolutely. We don't. I mean, the concept is wrong. It's flawed. It is basically what I referred to. We don't have here, you know, compared to previously where we work, where we engage, we don't have the cybersecurity mindset as a country. This is my fundamental problem. And what we are seeing on the website, all those security issues are the consequences of what I'm talking here.
Yes, that's true.
It is real, and we really have to find a way around it. Else, we should be expecting more of this trend.
Are we just not following trends? We're not prepared, but we're following. For instance, we're so much on social media. We're everywhere. We're on Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. I mean, there are new ones coming in that I don't even know of. You know, you discover when you see people.
Yeah.
Are we just joining and not being aware of these security concerns?
That's the biggest problem we have in our part of the world. We just follow blindly. We don't. You see, Facebook, people are rather making money out of it. But we here, most people are just using it for fun. Spend thousands and thousands of hours
and data
for nothing, when others are using it to generate wealth. You see, and most of these platforms are platforms that will rather affect you in. You see, as I told you, you have cookies. What does the cookies do? They collect your personal data and store it. A file that is created by the browser and keep it there so that the next time you come in, it will be easy to access those. That information you are putting there, if somebody gets hold of it, you are dead.
Can I ask you, should you always sign out? Because
Yes.
I feel it's so easy when I just open and the thing opens.
You see,
I'm sure it's my phone and it's my tab.
No, but as you said, the network, you have a network which can be hacked into. So if your PC, anytime you log on, all your sessions are opened. What are you giving to the world?
Let me add up here, Moavi. This is a case study. If you have a laptop, you're on Facebook, you've activated stay log on 2 weeks on that machine. It's easier, it's convenient. Look, that's the most comfortable way of accessing your network all the time. There's a problem with your laptop, the device. You take it to a repairer. It will take the repairer less than 30 seconds to steal your confidential information, your email, and then credentials. And that is used to commit fraud against you. We've seen a lot of these things happening.
And
when fraud
they
occurs,
did not hack into the system.
No,
they just took it there.
When fraud occurs, you come to us, we investigate. We ask a lot of questions. And for more than about 50% of cases that we've worked on, we established that one way or the other, actually it wasn't done through technical hacking. It was the social engineering and some of these breaches that informations were given out to use against them. This is a security information that we need to know. And I want to warn our viewers, it is dangerous practice. It is also dangerous when you just give out your phone without actually ensuring that every data stored. Don't tell me that when you take a picture with on WhatsApp and you send it to whoever you want to send it, and then you delete it, it's gone. It is still there.
It's still there.
That is danger. We don't know these things.
It is still there where?
Bring your phone to us.
Where is it?
It is still stored. After here we'll do a lot of demonstration. I mean, off the air session. Bring it, and within a matter of 30 minutes, we'll be able to take out that picture. This is what some criminals have also gotten into this technology. And they are using, against people who are not aware of what is happening. It's a real danger here. And Ghana, we must to awake in terms of cybersecurity.
Okay. But what we would do, because of also your conference, the one on smartphones,
Correct.
I would want us to zero in on some of these tools,
Correct.
specific tools. Correct. But can we quickly also talk about passwords? Because I forget my passwords easily. I change them like so many times. So I am quick to get something that I can easily remember. What is the risk in that?
Bad practice.
Using
Some people
birthdays.
use one password for every application he logs onto. It's a very bad habit. Well, I know it's not easy to memorize some of these things, but you need to understand that there is a security threat. So you have to make a big effort to change your password and don't use things that are common to you, like birthday, your pet's name, and all those things. Combine them. Sometimes I prefer allowing the system to generate a password for me, which is so complicated that I have to sometimes write it somewhere, and even when I have to go back to it, I always keep on changing.
Do they generate the password? I thought it's the usernames that they would usually help you generate.
No. Some system will generate random password for you, which is so complicated. They add all symbols, figures, and letters, so that it's not easy to break through. When you use common names, because some use what we call robot to try and log in. They don't know you, they don't have any information about you, they try to use robot. A robot will start using words that are known, and love, Friday, things like that. They keep on trying. And when they don't get through, then they start going to other options. So it's good not to use known words that are common to everybody. Try and combine, mix them, complicate. And our advice is don't use any combination less than 8 characters. Because remember that whatever character you use, whatever length you use, they'll try and combine. If you're using just 4 characters or 4 digits or whatever, it means so easy. They will try and they'll get there. But as you go beyond 8, then they have to go through. And it's possible by the time they get there, you would have changed the password. So they have to continue. So the habit is keep on changing the password. Don't use common names and things that are relate with you. Personal, and keep that's it. And you will be safe.
Yes, I'd like to comment on that. Password hacking, there are 2 ways, both technical and non-technical. And I think he did mention, but if you ask your viewers, how many people use a password like Jesus provides? God and I keep on, I keep on silly saying that, look, everybody know God provides, but at the level of technology, let's make sense, let's think sense. It can be protected at that level. It doesn't happen. Let's be real. That is an issue. Also, I'd like to comment on the issue of multiple passwords. How many online accounts do you have? I know you're on Facebook. You might be on LinkedIn, Instagram, you might be there. Look, very into technology. So perhaps you don't only have Gmail, you might have Yahoo.
I have Yahoo, and then I have my Joy Online.
On average, you have like, coupled with corporate activities, you have not less than 6-7 password. accounts. I will recommend that. Well, you keep, I don't know.
Keep changing.
Of course, you
or
change
limited, or limits.
We have developed, there is a way to address this also from technological angle. For example, in-house we developed a password manager, a tool that helps you to manage all this in a more secure manner. So that all these passwords are there, you can change them, and you actually set it maybe 3 months, generate a new password, and that works pretty good. It is not, as I'm saying, in-house, we built it here. That is one of the concepts I will also advance in my professional work. When the tool is out there, yes, everybody knows. Do you know how the hackers do? When you develop a system, they study around it. It's like the fights. Criminals want to be ahead, and then that's how it goes. So when you develop an application, the criminals look around that and then see, no, this is an issue. We can actually bypass those issues and go on. So when you have a tool which is built in-house, or something which is not readily available to everybody, look at Microsoft. Windows. How many attacks do we have targeting Windows? People say Mac cannot be. No, it's just because how many people use Mac? If I'm a criminal, I want to have as much target as possible. And I'll develop a system that will target what Microsoft users rather than what Mac, when the number of people who are using are pretty well.
Yeah.
This is one aspect of that.
Just the last thing, because our next appointment will be specifics.
Correct.
The last thing, can we trust persons like this gentleman I'm looking at right now, Kofi Tando, the people, the IT people we work with in our offices, because sometimes we're so damned with IT issues, we just hand it over to them. Fix it for me. Can we trust them?
Well, it has two ways. If you don't trust the person, why do you employ the person? That's one. Two, the expertise the person has. Because sometimes some people get a job, they don't want to lose it. So whatever happens, what do? They take it outside to fix it. That's where maybe he might not have that bad intention, but if he takes it out, what happens? You see? So I would say you accepted the person to work with you because you trust the person. But what you have to do is build the person's capacity so that he can be abreast with the new trends. Okay. So that he can keep on helping you face your problem instead of taking it outside.
Okay.
All right. I want to comment on that quickly. He has said that. I want to conclude here.
Yeah.
Umavi, you met your boyfriend how many years ago? Yes, I want to take you through a case study.
I would have told you that, you know, like tomorrow, like Friday, like on a Friday, because that's my relationship.
Let me
Friday.
use that. Use 2 years. Initially, when it started, how was it? How was the trust level? When you met somebody first, I want to take you through a case study. I want this to be real.
Oh,
fantastic!
When you meet,
everything.
No, the trust level
was low.
In the beginning, it's low.
Low, good. And then going forward,
you build it, you develop it.
Trust is necessary, but trust should be verified. You got to monitor the monitor. That's it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, all right. I want to say thank you, really. Personally, I've learned so much, and I'm sure everybody else has enjoyed this session as well. Right. Thank you. It's more like a classroom lecture, but this is more not the theory but the practical, and I love it. I want to say thank you. Edward Yeboah is a web application development lecturer with the Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT. Also, Albert Entry-Boesiako is founder and principal consultant, E-Crime Bureau. I have an appointment with him, a special one on smartphones, because you've got that conference coming up next month.
Sure.
Okay. May I say the last one? Initially, I talked about it, but I think many developers should come to Kofi Annan. we have
that's where I give you an invoice.
Exactly. We have ethical hacking, diploma in information security, and web application. So many other courses that you can really learn some of these things, how to avoid your application being hacked.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
My boss is watching him.
Don't worry. It's butter, so don't worry. I'll come back with Kwamina Chen Chen Hini to wrap this up for you. Stay with me here on the AM Show.